All right, what's happening, y'all? welcome to another week, another day, and the first full week of February as we are kicking off relatively dull pre-market, a little bit of movement on NASDAQ, a little bit of dump, come back off, a little bit of red, but overall a little bit muted, especially as relative to last week. So we've got a lot to deal with here. We've got obviously a very bullish week for the past 5 weeks, and a lot of fluctuation on a couple of underlying in the treasuries. Treasury market is starting to have a lot of shaking and baking, mainly the bonds. And we need to figure out how to make heads or tails of it. Last night we had 60-minute conversation with Jay Powell, and he was saying that we're not really out of the woods yet, although he's seeing some good stuff. And overall, we're not really expecting a rate cut until halfway through, mid through 2024, so June, July, maybe even the September FOMC. So a lot to really absorb there. The bonds are pricing that in. The bonds are getting smoked. TLT's down to 94 and printing some severely bearish VPA signals. I posted in the signals channel, so be aware of that. Other than that, we'll see how this thing plays out, man. We'll see how this week goes after a phenomenally bullish rally into 5,000. We almost got 5,000 on Friday, but didn't quite get up there. I think we got within like 2 points, 3 points. It's going to be a great week. It's going to be a fantastic week. And I can't wait. 17,222 here on NASDAQ. ES is 49.72. A little bit of a 10-point pop there. And we have liquidity mostly to the upside here. There's the market open right there. There you go, right there. So Russell continues to drop down to 1944 and change. Large red candles. NASDAQ is putting on a little bit of red there, 17.77 and dropping. And we'll see how this baby wants to go. A little liquidity up to the upside here. Booyah. Right there. Russell just bottom wicked back up. I'm watching that one. NASDAQ is 17,715 and going. Let's see if that ES can come up and eat that 49.80 or so. NASDAQ is shaking and baking here up to 17,750. Still a lot of movement. It's going to be a great week. That's right. What's up, YouTube? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. So the whole thing here is to kind of chillax and let the weekend absorb. After a lot of movement, we had a pretty aggressive rejection on Friday on NASDAQ and ES. And those ES sold off about 30 points or so. NASDAQ went from 17,770 down to, about 700. Obviously, I took a little put there late morning, early afternoon, expecting rejection. I was just a little bit early on that. Normally I'm not looking for any kind of downside position on such a day, but I think Friday kind of called for it, and I was a touch early on that put. I think a NASDAQ dropped like 100 points in one candle. So, crazy stuff. Russell looks like it's still going to blow lower here. Very large red candles. NASDAQ is still holding this bottom wick. Let's take a look. Russell's still dropping. 1942 CVD is red and dropping. And, 17,727 coming up. Overall, kind of hanging out in the doji here. We do have some data at 9:45 and 10 o'clock. So we got a little bit of movement here. Overall, we have a pretty muted week for catalysts this week, as opposed to last week. Last week it was seemingly big catalyst every day. This week, some minor stuff, nothing crazy. A little bit of green here in NASDAQ. Microsoft is coming up. Nice green. 17,333 going. Recapture. The overarching pre-market high there is about 739. So we'll be looking to kind of attack that level. Once they do, we'll see what happens after that. I'm going to play very cautiously, very chill. Not really going to look to jump in too much here until the first half hour is done. The data's out of the way, etc., etc. Pretty much the same thing every week. What's up, doctor? Yeah, so take a look in the signals channel. I posted my outline for the VPA setup on TLT. I think we could be looking for some possible downside action, maybe even a put on TLT. I don't know if I'd actually play the downside. I'll just wait for too long because I do think eventually TLT is going to rock it. Yes, but not until we get closer to the rate cuts. That's why I haven't started dollar cost averaging into them. I think we still have a little pressure into that area. What's up, Sam Haiti, Wells Fargo? What's happening? Tesla's down another 2.2%. A couple of accusations with Elon Musk this weekend. Apparently he forced people to take drugs against their will. Terrible person. Just joking. Nvidia's rocket chips. Yep. Nvidia's up 4%. 4%. Meta is down 1.26 after putting on a 21% move. Nvidia's up 4. Apple's up 0.92. So a lot of shaking and baking in the big mega caps. Russell can't pick a direction. NASDAQ is heading higher. Apple is screaming after a big red candle to open the day off. Going and going. Large green candles, baby. So overarching, take a look at the first target on NASDAQ, which is about 739. If they take that out, that's what we'll be looking to make a higher back up into the Friday's high area of 774. We're not talking about crazy movement here. Only 40, 50 points on NASDAQ. But that's the first target. They got to take that out. Russell has put on a large red candle for the first 5 minutes, and they've bottom wicked like 3 times and still press it lower. So the sellers are definitely controlling the candle on the Russell after a very bearish pre-market action on them. Russell right now is down 1.35%. And there's the next candle starting out, immediately red. So keep an eye on that one. This one may go lower with the continuity with the sellers. NASDAQ is still heading higher, testing that level. Seven 732, 730. Nice little red action right off the pre-market high area. $720. Mustn't get vocal about the border. Yep, very risky. What's a good TLT target? I would personally love to dollar cost average in anything under 90. If we touch 90, that's what I'll start to buy into it. Below that, I mean, there's targets down to the 84, 85 range. But we have a lot of time before rate cuts start coming. A lot of time. And, the volatility with bonds is going to continue to be aggressive as it already is. The volume, look at the volume. The past 3 volume candles are exceptionally large with the sellers really starting to hit the tape very recently. 17222 here. Russell's getting dumped at the moment. So there's that seller's continuity, and the Russell's been dumping for 7 hours straight here. So, and now they're really starting to fall off. 1938 and going. Yeah. Forgot about that. Let me see. Yeah, let me get that. NASDAQ just bottom wicked everything, and that's going to take it up to 770. Let's see applications. Bookmap. There it is. And live. Boom. Good to go. Thoughts on the Chinese market selling off? The Chinese market's been incredibly volatile, man. Incredibly volatile. It's funny because as the Chinese market is putting in new lows, like the Japanese market's putting in new highs, the German market, everyone else is doing great, but the Chinese market is getting just absolutely smoked. So it looks like they're trying to take some parameters to stop it, stop the bleeding, which is it needs to be done. So I don't really know. They have a very different economy. There's a lot more going on behind the scenes there, and corruption. Actually, I don't know. Corruption runs rampant here too. But the cooking the books is very, very strong. Their regulations is a lot different from us, and the little bit that I do know about that is that there's a lot of numbers that are misreported on their statements, which is why you get a lot of crazy short squeezes and sell-offs and a lot of Very volatile price action because and then on top of that, the economy right now is not doing so great. Totally didn't get a weekly on Friday. Nice, Max. Nice, Max. Let's keep it to percentage gains, though, please. If you don't mind. Large red candles dropping. Beautiful. Beautiful. $770. Great work. NASDAQ rejecting pre-market highs, coming all the way off, down into the POC of 713. And going. Russell still selling off. ES is came all the way back down to 49.65 at testing the pre-market low here. We just went from pre-market high to pre-market low. Crazy day. Beautiful stuff. Russell reacts how the market should react to rates when the dollar without 7 stocks holding it up. It's a very good point. Very good point. Tesla's heading to 165 at least. Let me take a look. I do have an overall target for Tesla. And right now, once they clear the 180 area, I'd be looking for down. Yeah, I mean 166 is about my target, 166.80 and change. So right about there. Yeah, that'd be a good target. If they give that out, whew, look out below. Crazy, crazy stuff. NASDAQ is still 17,711. Large red candles. Bonds are still dropping 94.72. My aha moment is always trying to identify the tools which are they're trying to instill fear, greed. Once you realize there are tools, only to figure it out. Yeah. Netflix is up over 2% since open. Nice. Nice. Data in 5 minutes. We have a small iceberg on NASDAQ up to 737. ES has no real icebergs on there. We filled a couple of small ones. But overall, they have 49.60 liquidity and 49.77. NASDAQ pressing lower. Data in 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So now NASDAQ is dropping back off already into this pre-market area. So now that we've rejected pre-market highs, we've got a couple of trend lines, a little bit of support here, but overall, 17,692, which is the prior candle. Below that, we'll start touching the 672 area. But there's no bullishness whatsoever on the Russell. The VIX is now heading over 1407, and Apple's bottom wicking. There's a lot of wicks, top wicks on Microsoft. They continue to drop. Mine position right now, negative. Took one scalp, but quick in and out. Right now, I'm flat, nothing. 49.66 here. Nice, Trader J. Beautiful. Well done. 17,702. 49.65, negative 1,000 CVD. NASDAQ is trying to bottom wick, but the sellers keep filling it lower into this little support area, 695. So what they're doing now is absorbing. We're sticking to this 700 area and absorbing. So not a lot of confidence we're going to bounce off this particular level here without a little push lower. They continue to drive lower. We'll see. Apple's 186.03. are absorbing at the moment. Pushing lower. If they clear this area, it'll be a pretty quick move down into the 670, 680 area. There we go. Cleared it. And breaching. Large red engulfings here. The buyers continue to bottom wick. We have data in 2 minutes. And that's really kind of what we're dealing with at the moment. 694, 695. I just set rules at work. Nice. Big old bottom wick right there. Climbing up. Still waiting. SPY absorption. That's right. That's exactly what they're doing. NASDAQ is absorbing that demand. Overall, it does look like a heavier day. But let's get through the first 15 minutes here of the data. We have data in about 10 seconds. And then after that, we'll absorb in this kind of little lower area here. And we'll be able to make a decisiones on everything. $17,704. I want to go in on a video, but I have a hard time finding a target entry, second guessing myself. There's not really a good entry on NVIDIA. You got to trust the bottom wicks and go long on it. I mean, that thing is the most bullish, one of the most bullish stocks in history. It's just going skyrocketing. So it's hard to do any kind of analysis on that because every single red attempt is bottom wick, just go up. You know, it's just going higher and higher and higher. I mean, right now there's calls, there's a lot of open interest on 1,000 strike calls. So I mean, it's way up there, and it continues to go. I mean, it's already almost 700. It's already well beyond ridiculous. So at that point, just long it. When you're looking at the lower time frame volume profile, are you looking at the daily session or weekly, monthly? I look at everything. When I start my analysis, like last night into this morning, I spent a lot of time on the longer time frames, weekly, monthly, daily. That's how I caught the TLT bearish setup, because you're seeing all the flow, and I go across all my major players. I go on ES, NASDAQ, TLT, SPY, all the top 10s, and now, of course, I'm doing Russell and YM to kind of get into the habit of identifying the setups and starting to trade that a little bit more. But yeah, it's going. Someone said that already? Oh, yeah. Then they'll split. They'll have to split, yeah. $17,710. First date is out of the way, then we have 10 o'clock. Let's take a look at oil. What are they doing? I'm going to close out a bunch of crap. That's exactly what I need. There we go. Need a little music. It's quiet in here. Contrarian trading strategy works. I'm pretty sure I use it with good success. Yeah, it does. It's all about positioning, the positioning of the market. That's why contrarian trading does work. That's human nature, man. Is that human nature loves to be a follower. They like to be told what to do. And when the market starts putting on a bunch of green, then they start to buy. That's why if you want to be a great trader, you have to get in early. Microsoft is getting smoked, straight on red down. Apple is holding 186, not bouncing up. Amazon got smoked. Meta's getting smoked. Tesla's getting smoked. Nvidia is rocket ships. Google is rocket ships. Although Google, well, now they bought that red candle back up. So a lot of green here overall, mixed in with a couple of reds. I started doing lotto picks on Nvidia, small positions, low risk, solid wins every week. Not retirement money, but Mexican pizza money. There you go. As big as Nvidia is moving, you could turn a little bit of money into a lot of money doing that. All right, big old top wick on Nasdaq here. Looks like this one may put us lower. The bulls attempted here and then bottom or top wicked it, and now that they are driving, I took a scalp short on that candle right there. Oh, look at that! Hey, little guy, what are you doing? If this thing can hold, we're gonna press, baby. Wow, that was quick. Now they're dumping it. See, they fully absorbed. They fully absorbed. And now we go down. And now we go down. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I love VPA. Love it. Amazing. If this candle can hold and go lower, we're gonna blast down to at least 670. Now the sellers have fully absorbed the sell side liquidity, and we're going lower if they can hold it. Right now, you're going to roll your stops. You're going to see if you're going to give it a chance to absorb, and then press lower. That's what I'm doing at least. If we can absorb this sell side liquidity, I'll be looking for 673, which is about 13 points down. Not huge. We're not talking about big movement here. 20, 30 points, 40 points. Now I'm starting to get into profit a little bit more. But we're going. We're going. Not to mention when you see a very large green engulfing get hammered like that and hold, I want to go short, baby. Now we're going. All right, I'm going to set my first stop at 682. And then if we can capture 670, which will most likely bounce off at 670, 673 to be exact. So I'm going to keep my stops tight. I don't want to deal with this bounce here. But if I can survive the bounce, then this could be a pretty decent play here. Right now it's just a good play, but it could be amazing if we take out 670. So, see, we're already bottom. We can ride off of it. Nice trippy, Mike. Well done. Beautiful. Beautiful. See, I just had to put on some Huey Lewis. That's all I needed. A little bit of Huey Lewis. A-firm, Dan. I am watching NASDAQ. ES is still holding 49.66. They're not really moving. But NASDAQ dumped back over. And I'll see if I could do a little replay. I've never done that before on stream. Let's see if we could do that. Kind of what I showed. Replay function. Watch this candle right here. So, and hit play. Watch it. We have a big, oh, see, it skips the candle. Let me see if I can slow it down. See if I can slow it down. Let's do 0.1. That might be too slow. There we go. See, still didn't show it. Either way, we had a big green candle, immediately hammered back down, and that's where I look to go short, and then, of course, it dumps all the way back over. So, terrible replay function. Roller back. That's right. I tried. Bookmap, we've got very little liquidity on Bookmap, and that stops me out right there. Bookmap right here has 49. Iceberg up at 17,737, down to 17,650. Right there. So we held the pre-market low right there. The pre-market low range of 672, we bounced right off of it. That's where you set your stops because you know you're going to get a bounce there. We don't know how high. that was a combination of high and hard. How hard? We don't know how hard it's going to bounce, but we know it's going to bounce there. It could be a little bounce, it could be a big bounce. And that's what you need to survive if you want to go short. NASDAQ is putting on a little at 600. ES is 49.60. I will tell you this. I am the least bullish I've been in a long time, since December. I've been bullish ever since we bounced early in December, and I'm the least amount of bullish I've been since. So I'm not saying I'm bearish, I'm just saying I'm the least amount of bullish. If you could bottle bullishness and put it in a bottle, my levels would be pretty low. My bottle would be a little empty right now. Thoughts on my Black Swan hedge, butterfly put spread. Sell 2420, buy 10435, buy 10405. Could I help you understand absorption? I just did an hour-long Zoom call yesterday on that exact thing. On absorption by the buyers and sellers. How they absorbed and move higher. Very interested. We talk about a couple of different examples to help you understand. Diet bullish. Yeah, diet bullish. I love it. I love it. Some Tab. Remember Tab? Anybody? From the 80s? That was the first thing my mom started drinking because she's diabetic. 408.33. Amazon is 168.30. VIX is 13.95 and dropping currently. VIX, take a look. What is that right there? Down 0.79 after being pretty bullish. They've kind of knocked off a lot of their green there. Type bullish Melendez. Hey RG, I heard you had some sort of scammer in your DMs last week about something about Lambos or something. I apologize. I removed them from the server. These guys get crazy. Just thought it was funny. There you go. We all know it was you. Do you? Come on now. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, man. Data in 3 minutes. And then we'll be gone. Iceberg up here, 737. Oil is getting smoked. Look at that. Down to 71.30. Trying to break down to the 60s. We have a trend line on CL about 71.30. $7.04. All right, we are right back up into the VWAP areas, smack dab in the middle of the range here. Not a lot of craziness right now. I started reading Volume Price Analysis book and re-educating myself, and now after I'm done with that book, what do you think the next step is to take trading seriously? That's a good question. That's a great question. So, if you want to start taking this thing seriously, what do you do in anything that you actually want to start being consistent at and taking seriously? Like you don't, like if you want to start dieting and doing fitness, you don't just wake up one day and be like, all right, well, I'm just going to wing this and see if I can lose 40 pounds and get jacked. No, there has to be a process, right? You have to have a plan. I'm going to go to the gym at this time. I'm going to make this meal. I'm going to plan out these macros. I'm going to do these workouts. It's the same thing with trading, is that you have to develop a system and a process. You can't just set up at the chart here. You'd be like, all right, well, if I see green, I'm going to take a call. You know, there's got to be a process. So I'll set you up some rules. Set you up a couple of setups that you love to see. My personal favorite setups with VPA and for a scalping perspective is major bottom wicks with volume. If I see major bottom wicks or top wicks, the same thing. I'll consider that one setup. Major top wicks like a 3-candle top wick or 3-candle bottom wick with volume, that to me I want to go in on. So start identifying key setups that you love to see. Start looking at particular stuff like the tweet I posted last week, the high volume test breakout. Start identifying those setups. So what I would do if I were you is take Anna Colling's book and all of the little the figures, like figure 6.17, figure 1.8, all the different screenshots that she's got to set up, and start going through and identifying those on multiple time frames for names. So literally just open up the SPY or NASDAQ or whoever and go to the 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart, and just go back day by day by day, spend a couple hours a weekend, and look for those setups to see if you can identify low volume breakouts, high volume breakouts, 3-candle pattern rejections or bottom wicks, imbalance fills, and start to identify those. And be like, all right, well, candle by candle, this is what I'm thinking, this is what it looks like, and start to apply that in real time. And then make notes off of that. My book, my volume price analysis book, has got notes all over it. All over it. Like I'm gonna have to get a new book one day because I've got notes in the sidelines and the margins, everywhere. That's how I really that's really how I teach the Zoom calls, is through my notes out of the past couple of years of just writing in the margins. But you have to find setups that work for you, that you like to see, that's in your wheelhouse. And then of course after that it's risk mitigation. You always have to account for risk. Every single time that you do not account for risk, you're going to get smoked. Every time. I tell Mrs. OM that I'm the unluckiest person in the whole wide world. Because every single time I risk up, I get destroyed. And yet there's jabronis out here putting their life savings on freaking PayPal calls and making life-changing money. But every single time I put any risk on, I get destroyed. Because that's just me. So rule number 1 is protect your capital. Survive to survive for another day. That's your goal. If you get destroyed and you can't survive, then you can't trade tomorrow. Data's out. So we had a big red dump down, bottom wick back up. Looks like the bulls are going to hit this candle. Apple's coming back up here. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. But rule number 1, more important than Anna Colling, more important than anything, is risk management. The best traders don't have a golden nugget system. They have good risk mitigation. They have good position management. If your heart is beating out of your chest on any trade, you're not risk mitigated. I'll tell you that. I like boring trading. Boring trading. Anyway, off my soapbox. All right, NASDAQ continues to try to dump, which I think the sellers are absorbing the 676 again. We've had multiple attempts into 680, and all times the sellers have reclaimed it. So what we're doing here is conducting absorption. We can't come off more than 50% of the initial red down, and I think we're going to take out the 674 and start transacting a touch lower here on this move. Large red engulfings. We'll see. What are your thoughts on a $380,000 farm, 12 acres? Comes with 4 different field equipment, barns, workshops, fence, includes plow and brush clearing. I was planning to pay down a nice farmhouse with 8 acres in full, but found this other one. A couple built the farm, and the other, and they're rich, so they're on extended vacation, just want to chill. Well, I don't know your area, location, all that kind of stuff, but what does that come out to? That comes out to $32,000 an acre. That's a little spicy. 32 an acre. It all depends on where you're at, though. You know, if you're 2 minutes from the city, that may be a good price. Not to mention it comes with a whole bunch of other stuff too. So that's your call, man. You know, if it's what you want and it's a beautiful setup and exactly what you're looking for, then buy it. You know, land, there is no kind of pleasure than having land. So I'm a big believer in land. That's a good one. Hearts beat faster on a trade. Yep. I like boring trading. I like boring trading. Remember, I don't want to hear how much money y'all made. I want to see setups. And the reason why I say that is because I had some DMs yesterday, because apparently there was like a 2-hour period where people were just pinging how much money they made back and forth. So I just want to remind people, I'm all about setups. I want to see your wins. I want to rejoice in your wins. But I want to hear your whys, not how much you made. All right, there we go. So we just fully absorbed 670 and dropping, which means we're probably going to trickle off into the next phase lower here. I would probably look for 646 or so if we take this out. A little bit more pressure down to 650. Pressing lower. Beautiful. Beautiful. $670. Dropping back off. Apple's going up. If Apple fails, we're going to drill. So I went short on this candle right here. And if Apple can come down, we could start to attack 641. That'll be my next target. But all we're doing is absorbing and going lower. It's about 8 miles from the city, lots of privacy since it's a hilly area, and they kept the forest that outlines the land, so it's even more private. That sounds like a win to me, bro. Privacy and seclusion are invaluable. That sounds like a win. If you can make it swing it and you like the land, do it. Do it. I do not think you'll regret it. Look at this engulfing red. They've absorbed all the selling, and down we go. Coming off. Beautiful. Large red, still short. I'm going to roll my stops down, and I'm tacking 641 here. I have a lot of lessons learned too, Kennedy. I won't come up the channel here, but if you want to DM me, I'll have a lot about land and stuff. I have a lot of lessons learned over the past 3.5 years of farm ownership. Apple seems to be holding up the cues. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just keeps pressing lower and lower. That's absorption right there. That's absorption. They're putting lower, and this is a setup we talked about in the Zoom call yesterday. Right here is that when you've got a push lower into the prior demand and they don't come off of it, and if they do come off of it, they can't even capture half the move right there. They can't even come all the way up, and then they hammer back down. This is a bearish setup. So this is a setup where I'm looking to short any pop. We come off, and now we have a rejection in the dumperoni, and I went short about here, and now I'm stopped out. Yeah, we just got right. We got within what, 5 points of that 641 liquidity, and they just bounced right off of it. So, am I looking to bounce off this next level? Yes, but I don't know to what degree. You know, I don't have a time machine. I know we're going to bounce there, but I don't know to what degree. And we just bounced off of it, and now they're already top wicking it, so the sellers are still very much in control here and coming down. Now they're going to all that's happening here is that we're seeking out the sell side liquidity. We're seeking out the next level at which the bulls want to hit. Right here. Bonds just dumped down to 94.30, huge red candle, and continuing to drop. VIX is 14.11. Apple's still going up. Very strong flow on Apple. I bought Amazon 175 calls this morning, 2 weeks out, so loss is not concerning yet. I think it'll continue to run post-ER, but didn't want to run the risk this week expiration. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Playing micros here. Look at that. Big 30-point bounce right off that level. Do y'all see where I got that level from? Calculating those things on the fly. It's all about looking back at the prior liquidity zones. The market is seeking out liquidity, and the best way to figure out where that is prior zones of auction, where the auction prior occurred before. Top wicks back down. This is either going to get nasty or this is the low. We'll see. The GEX data this week is not nearly as bullish or as bearish as last week because we had that 480 pull and we dumped down right near it and then bounced back up. We talked about that last night in the Zoom call too, what I make about that when we have a little bit of cross currents. But this week is not nearly as bearish. Let me hit refresh. Buyers can't follow through, sellers top wick. Yep. So that's continuing to have absorption right here. Continuing to have absorption. Russell's getting smoked as well. NASDAQ is top wicking back over. We need Apple to fail. Apple's bouncing all the way back up here. Apple's about to squeeze. I'll say if you want downside, you need Apple to fail. So Apple seems to be holding up the cues. Yep. By the way, 250 people watching. If you might hit that like button on YouTube. Another top wick here, so I'm still looking to hold short here. If they close this top wick, Amazon has a ascending wedge. Apple is at 186.7, and it looks like we are just absorbing this lower liquidity. If I take this out, I'll look for, once we take out 641, my next target on NASDAQ is 588. If we're looking at ES, I'll give you an ES target. Once we take out this area, I'm going to look for 49.43. That'll be my target on ES there. NASDAQ is starting to break down. ES is starting to break down right here, and I think we're about to roll. Right here. $7,661. Take a look. I think my math is off, so my strategy is scalping microfutures on ES is 30 stop loss. How many ticks would that be? Well, it's $2. Well, per tick. So that's going to be what? 50 cents per tick? All right, there's another top wick on NASDAQ on the 5-minute, and they're holding 670 here. Apple is absolutely flying at the moment, about to break out new highs of the day. Microsoft is selling off hard, but Apple is flying, 187. Nvidia is selling off. Google is about to break out highs. Tesla is selling off. So there's a whole bunch of extreme outlier moves on tech. We have a lot of red and a whole lot of green. ES is selling off to new lows, 49.58, and then bounced. We'll see what happens here. The success I've had with discipline listening has been amazing. Oh, nice. Appreciate that. Keep up the good work. How can I get in your channel or the Zoom calls you were talking about? Yeah, so links down in the description of the YouTube video. You can follow along and join the community. You can do Tier 1 or Tier 2. Tier 2 will get you access to the Zoom calls and that we do bi-weekly. And then this month we've added shorter VPA chats that are specific to the VPA book. That's good stuff. Another topic on NASDAQ. So really the only thing that's holding this thing up is Goog here and Apple. Even Nvidia is selling off here. So once we have a little bit of red on Apple, NASDAQ should transact into below the 640 area right here. And there's another major top wick there on NASDAQ. Nvidia's there. NASDAQ is still top wicking. Look for this thing to shift lower into 640. Coming down. Nothing but top wicks, baby. Well, thanks, Toolman. Appreciate that, buddy. If Apple correlates, NASDAQ should start to have a little bit of pressure here. Even more so. Right now, I don't see very much bullish structure here. All the sellers are hammering everything. Microsoft is extremely down. Top wicks galore on the 5-minute. Micros take away the pucker factor. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I handed y'all the script to success, too, especially if you're doing prop firms. Micros only. Your life will change. I promise you. Your life will change. And then every now and then you could throw in, one mini. That's what I do. Once you get successful enough and you get a big buffer, you throw in one mini every now and then. 2 minis every now and then. Once you have a large enough buffer, but until you get that buffer, you stick with the micros. Period. Period. Until you've got a large draw, like whatever the drawdown is and whatever prop firm you're using. Let's say your drawdown is $3,000. Until you've got $3,000 in profit, you stay with 1 or 2 micros. Period. Period. And then you only go up to 4 or 5 micros. And then once you've got like 10 grand of buffer, then you do 1 or 2 minis. You're being a jabroni? Yeah, no more averaging down. Unless you're planning to do averaging down. That drawdown sneaks up real quick. It does. Even NASDAQ. I mean, NASDAQ, if you're wrong by 1 candle on NASDAQ, I mean, you're going to get blown. You're going to blow your account. You're going to get blown up. You're going to get blown up on your prop firms. With Apex, the system could be more aggressive since you have 20 accounts. Yeah. Yeah. And I will be doing 20 accounts on Apex soon. See if I can get me a $40,000 withdrawal. Like some of you jabronis. If I can make $80,000 extra a week trading micros, you know how ridiculous that is? $17,650. All right, here's the pressure lower. So the sellers are still absorbing. There's no real bouncing. So we're still hanging out to the downside here. 650. No real buying. The only thing that's buying up is right now Apple. Amazon has a ascending wedge. Microsoft is selling off. Nvidia is selling off. So keep on playing short here. There's 641, and we just got through that. Next on deck, I'm looking for about 600. That'll be the next target. Let me confirm that. I didn't mark my last level. Yeah, I'll give it about 600, 590, somewhere around there, 10-point range. Still dropping. Red candles. There goes SPY. Beautiful. There's through 640, blew through that liquidity. Still red, 630 coming off right there. Large candles. Back down. Beautiful. Beautiful. Coming off. Are your screens different from YouTube than the Discord? A little bit. A little bit. Still coming off next to 17,600 on down. So still playing short on this move. All top wicks and going lower. We just wiped out our target of 641. And now we're coming up on 590 to 600. That'll be the next target on NASDAQ. Just playing target to target here to anticipate the bounces. Anticipate the bounces and roll your stops. Microsoft is still coming off lower. Apple is getting smoked finally, which was pushing us lower. NASDAQ channel is nice. Bottom of the channel here. Let's see here. What channel are you talking about, Willis? Yeah, I see that. Okay, yeah. Red candles, and we are about halfway through Friday's action so far. Already. NASDAQ is down 0.6% and dropping. I didn't get a good entry, so I just scalped this move a little bit. That's okay. SMCI hasn't gotten the memo about getting smoked. Still pushing lower here. 626. Now that we're through the 641, I'd expect down. into the 600 realm. We're just dropping, and I'm rolling my stops down. That's it. Just rolling the stops down. This thing has got a large engulfing red candle here, so it's going. You want to be on this side of the candles because all we've been doing, yesterday's Zoom call ties in perfectly to what just occurred. Perfectly. This absorption with no bounce, strong sellers. Wasn't even trying to look to go long here. Just either holding shorts or looking to go short. On down. I think I already answered that. There you go. Thanks. Still going down, 600. And this is going to be my first target, 600 right here. Anticipated bounce at 600. I just don't know how much. If it absorbs 600, once that happens, we'll be looking for about 580. And then if we give out 580, I mean, we got another 100 points on deck. I'd say 40 points. No, 100 points. I was right. If I give this out, about another 100 points. I lose money every time I go puts, and the one time I thought about going puts, I don't. Well, you just got to look at the price action, man. Like, I get it. So one thing I'd recommend is obviously sizing down. That's always my number one recommendation. And then watching this price action here. You'll be surprised how quick the handcuffs come off when you size down. I'd rather make a little bit of money and then miss out because you're too afraid to take a position, because if you're wrong, you're going to get destroyed. A little bit more red coming off here. There's the first bounce off 600. We actually got to 601. So there's our first small bounce. I don't know how far it's going to bounce, but we did have a bounce. Now it's my job to determine how we're going to deal with 600. You think I'm good going to sleep on a 431 call spread? Or should I close out with what I've made? On what whatchamacallit? What name? Q's 431? I'd like to say you're safe, but I certainly wouldn't want to go to sleep and wake up to a destroyed position when this thing recovers, if this thing were to recover, which the Qs have been known to do that. So just I would set a position, a point at which you'd want to take profit. If not, you should be pretty healthily up on that thing. If it's a 0DTs, that thing should be pretty dang profitable. So I'd just go ahead and take it off for whatever. I'm not saying I am bearish, but if you are bullish, you done messed up. You done messed up, Ron. There you go. I thought I bought 4 DT puts at 198 with a 492. I saw it's 318. Realized the order book was open. I never confirmed the order. I actually did that exact thing this morning. I did that exact same thing. I literally, about 5 minutes ago, I just looked at my brokerage, expected to see a big win, and I realized I never took the put that I had open. I've just been playing my futures, which is fun. It happens. That's one of the downsides of having to multitask like 7 different things at once. Last time the market went 13 to 14 green weeks was in 1985. Market sold off 2.5% the following week. This is the following week. And it's the first full week of February, which is traditionally a bearish month. So that we could be in store for that, Spider-Man. Booyah. My whole theme for credit spreads this week was a call credit spread pretty early, but we're already dropping pretty early, pretty quickly. Russell's down 2.25 and never gets love. Yeah, because what Agnostic said, it doesn't have the mega caps to pad the account. Mega caps are the market's parachute. Russell doesn't have a parachute. All right, now that I've listened to Huey Lewis like 8 times in a row, I think I need a new song. Give me something else. Air Supply. Pantera. I love Pantera. Yeah, it's good stuff. Stopped out 2 and 490 0 DD puts contracts from 493 to 490. Nice, DJ. Go, DJ. It's your birthday. Well done. You may be too young for that song. Apple's large coming off red. We have a little bit of green here right off of 600 on NASDAQ. If we follow the pattern, we will have 2 red candles after this once it closes. See if we can get this green candle to fail and test through 600. Gotta be good. $49.35 grab target. Apple's 186 coming off a touch. 491.16 on SPY. $622. We got 600 retest right down here. All right, there's the first 5-minute candle, and the second follow-on candle forms now. Let's see how the bears respond to the hammer green on that green candle right there. Apple's 186.91. The bulls tried to break it out, still holding 625, and they're failing it. 600 retest would bring us to 580 or so, which would after that would bring us to about 490. Let's take a look at ES. ES is 49.47 and failing back over. Apple just top wick back down. Short off of 17,620 to see if we move lower. We'll see. NASDAQ is still heading higher, so the bulls are still taking control. Nice move there. 8 EMA would put us at 651, which is 20 points higher. What are your thoughts on trading SPY and QZ versus individual stocks? I love it. I love it, especially for long-term holds, obviously. Long-term holds are spectacular for the indexes. Apple is starting to roll back over 186.70, and they're trying to put another low in. Big old top wick on NASDAQ to hammer that green candle. 623, 622. And if they, oh man, they really reversed that candle. If they can wipe this thing out and retest 600, this would be a pretty significant trend down here. Pressing lower. We're about to form the first hour range here too. 617, 616 and dropping. Going. I'm going to set the morning range here. The high is going to be the first candle of the day of 73725. And the low is 675. So a nice little range, 140 point morning range, man. Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. ES is got a similar looking range, obviously different. 49.73. Nope, I don't want to do that. And the low is 49.4275. So right now we've got about a 35-point range on ES and a 120-point range on NASDAQ. What are your thoughts? Alright, so that. How about Pet Shop Boys? Let's make lots of money. Not sure if it was Apex, Rhythmic, or Ninja, but the chart was frozen right at open. It cost me $250. Ooh. If we're still above the FOMC releases on ES and NASDAQ, but RTY, XOM, and Tesla are below. There you go. Yep. Still holding 49.42. $637, 600 are still the main target here. Still not really looking for a lot of long setups here. I don't see much until I get some confirmation, because the follow-on green candle we're experiencing now in NASDAQ is being hammered. So the sellers are still here. We can't come off of the liquidity, which tells us we haven't yet hit the overarching buy side or the sell side liquidity for the buyers. The 15-minute does not have any increase in price or volume, neither does the 5-minute. So we don't have a stopping volume or a bottoming out volume yet. It still looks like we're at least going to retest 600, if not go lower at the moment. NVIDIA is forming the same pattern. Yeah. Amazon's going up here. Currently no trades on the books. Stopped out of my short. $621. Wicks is back up to 1433. Let me take a look at the GEX. Let's see how we rolled the GEX. 0 DTE. We are currently 491. 490 is going to provide a little bit of, I guess, option support there. Let's take a look at the dealer OI. Yeah, 490 will be our first target here. For SPY, there comes NASDAQ back over. Can I please post an example or tell us a day or time of stopping volume looks like? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. It's a great question. I got one for you. You see that? That right there is textbook ready to go long volume. Huge increase in buy volume with an associated massive bottom wick that holds. And then to really confirm, the second candle is a big green engulfing that holds, no top wick. Any kind of top wicks degrades the confidence of a long setup. Any kind of red volume degrades the confidence of a long setup. Any kind of significant drop off in volume immediately degrades the long setup. I'll get you another one. Let's see if we can find another one. There's plenty of them. Here's another one. There's another one right there. See that bottom wick with the associated follow-on green and the big green right there? Boom. Just going. Does that help? Does that answer your question? Here comes a red press lower down to 600. How do you go in a retest again? Not necessarily from the open, but the current price action here. The current price action, even on Nasdaq and S&P, is coming off, and we continue to press lower. And every time the bulls do hit, we cannot reclaim more than 50% of the prior candle. Every single candle is immediately top wick. See top wick, and now this one dumped back over. So the bulls can't hold the candle. So from a price action standpoint, we see that the auction is occurring in favor of the sellers, and we haven't yet hit the sell side liquidity. We haven't yet hit the overall macro, which is somewhere down here. We don't know where it is. If it even finds us today, today could be a trend down day. But I certainly don't want to be going long until I see a very large spike in volume with a very strong green bottom wick. Now, what I said earlier is that looks like we're on Nasdaq, we're at least going to retest 600, if not blow through it altogether. And if you look at Nasdaq, right here, we're come down and retesting 600 because this right here, we had a green candle under dropping volume, which is not signs of stopping volume, and we have an immediate top wick right here. And then now this candle fails back down and we're retesting 600. I don't know if we're going to blow through it here. I'll know in a couple of candles based on the price action. If it's pins here for a couple of 20 minutes or so with a couple of top wicks, then I'll be looking to short again from 600 down to 480. But you don't really want to go shorting the whole unless you've got some really good confidence we're going down here. I don't want to get in the habit of shorting the bottom side like this. Now, if we stay here for 20, 30 minutes, we have some top wicks. We start to press. We get that glued price action that doesn't come off, and then bam, then I'll look to short down. But until then, I just want to retest 600, which I would consider that a close retest. And we got to be patient. We're well below all major POCs here, at least up to the 15-minute. The longer time frame POCs are way down, which will provide some pull. Those are 5-minute candles, yes. Was there any indication ahead of time that this example would be weaker than the first example you gave? No. It's really just looking for the reclamation of the overnight levels. So the first example, we had some great pull up to pre-market levels, and we had conversation about that. You remember that if we reclaimed, I think it was 580. I forget what it was. I think it was 580. If we reclaimed 580, we were going to go back over pre-market highs on that day. I think that was Thursday, and it did it. So it really depends on where we are in the setup. We had a very, very large drawdown because of data. We hammered it at the open, and then once we reclaimed like VWAP, and then the next pivot level, then I was looking to recapture pre-market highs, and we did. And once we recapture pre-market highs and use it as a retest, then I'm looking to go higher, and that's exactly what happened on Friday. On the second example, we didn't have a big imbalance to the upside, so I didn't really know where we were going to go. I just know that we were going to go higher. I don't know how much. That's why I try to use terminology, if-and statements that are based in if-and statements. Like right now, I'm not saying trend down. I'm saying we're at least going to retest 600, and then we'll decide if or not we're going to continue to blow through. And if we're looking here on Nasdaq, on the book map, we have this small iceberg that's trickling lower, and then we've got another test 600 liquidity right here. Another top wick here. And looks like we are going to fail this down to 600. I'm more curious how that second confirmation candle was followed by weakness, then a little gain, but then a new low. How do you know when to exit in that scenario? You know, that it's one of in the shorter time frames, you've got to be able to roll your stops. Now, if that was a daily candle, you'd have a lot more time. Obviously, a 5-minute. That's why the scalping is a little bit more difficult, because you have to be very quick with your analysis. You have to be able to see things in real time. So the sell off on the first attempt, I'd be very careful on that. Now, that probably would have stopped me out of the position, because that took out half the move. And if I'm in a long entry from the bottom, I probably would have stayed in. But if I waited for confirmation, that would have stopped me out. And that's just the nature of smaller moves and a little bit more of a range day as opposed to a breakout. But if you continue to play those moves, all you need to do is catch one or two big breakouts a quarter, and you've made your quarter. And that's the whole setup there. All right, here's 600 test right here. And just blew through it. Still holding it. And now we're about to fill lower. So there's a 600 retest. And now we're going to gun for, as long as this doesn't bottom wick green, I'm gunning for about 580, 570. Let's call it 580. I'm going to stick with 580. And then once we take that out, I mean, there's not much until the imbalance from Thursday. We're just going down. 590 and still going. Beautiful. They did remove that liquidity there at 570 just now. Amazon appears it's going to break this wedge and still go. And the NASDAQ is flying off right now. Boom. Going down. Netflix move today is insane. What are they doing? 581 here. Here comes 580. So here's the first target here after 600. And that one's blew right through it. Nothing there. It's still going. So all sell side liquidity here. And now it's going to start to get spicy. Now it's going to start to get spicy. Boom. Even more spicy, I should say. It's pretty spicy already. Still going. Boom. Engulfing. 575. There's no liquidity to the upside. ES still has 43,932 and 49.23 is the biggest levels, and they're just eating it on down. No icebergs. Still going. Still going. That's all right. I've had to pop in and out a few times, Dan. It's all right. Just get back in when you see it. Still going. Rolling back over here. Give yourself a chance to ride it, because now that we've reclaimed all the major supports, next on deck is going to be about, I mean, we're talking another 80 points down from here. 80 points on NASDAQ is spectacular. I'll take it all day long, baby. Just give yourself a chance to catch that trend. I got my daily goals. I'm happy either way. You and me both, brother. You and me both. Can you say that word again? Spectacular with a rolled R. Boom. Here we go. Still going. I got about 45 more cents on SPY and about 50 more points on NASDAQ, and we're still going. Still going. Rolling it, baby. And all I'm going to do is just roll my stops down here, too. Popping in and out. Man, can you imagine catching a short at 738? Red to green for me today on MNQ. Nice. First trade stopped me out for a loss of 60 ticks. Second trade hit my target goal of 120 ticks. Beautiful. Well done. Well done. Right when I put on Pantera, it started rocking. It started going. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, if SPY to take out 490, I think it'll start to become even more spicy here on SPY. Nasdaq has already done it. They're continuing to roll over. And I'm looking for the next target for me is going to be about between 480. I'll say about 480 is a good ballpark measure. 485, let's call it 490. 490 and 480, the 10-point range on Nasdaq. Give you a little 10-point buffer on Nasdaq there. Where's SPX at right now? 49.19. All right. 48.80. What's the QGEX? Let me take a look. QGEX. Am I at any SPY plays right now? Negative. I'm at a NQ play. Still going. Still going. Let's take a look. 2.5 on Qs. $4.25. Yeah, their wall is pretty low there. 2.5. I don't see it going down that much. About 4.15 right now is the major pull for Qs, which would be another 10 points down. That'd be a pretty large move down. I don't expect that. However, Nasdaq is pulling down the same amount, so we're looking about another, like I said, another 80 points down on Nasdaq here. So it's got some potential. It's got potential. On Qs, it's 4.15. Yeah, liquid Lubu. So it's down substantially. And that would put Nasdaq right at my target of about 460. 480 right there. So that correlates. My market strategy is market continuation. I plot supply and demand zones on higher time frames and support resistance on small time frames. When a key level is breached, I wait for the retest. Market continues the direction. I focus on the break of the previous test. Yeah. So what you described there, what you just described there is absorption. That's exactly right. When the market absorbs those supports, you want to look for continuation. But if they hammer off of it, then you know that the buyers are sufficiently, sufficiently satisfied, and we go back up. You mentioned 17,490. What about the big round number 500? Do you even think about it? I do think about it. Yeah. But for me, although yes, those do get some attention, those even numbers, I have to look at where the liquidity is in the market here, and that takes precedence over everything. You're welcome. NVIDIA is crazy. Yeah. NVIDIA's shaking and baking all over the place. Tesla is a little bit of a bottom wick, but they got destroyed. They're down 7%. Gah. Elon ain't the richest man in the world anymore. All right, let me say the richest man that reports his earnings in the world. Last in Saudi Arabian. $49.41. Some strange hit pieces about drugs. Yeah, they're going to tear him apart, man. They're going to tear him apart. He doesn't fit the script. He doesn't fall in line. Friday puts way in the money now. No reason to sell yet. There you go. Yeah. There are so many people we don't even know exist that are way richer than Elon. Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. Those oil empires in the Middle East, man, are way more rich than Elon or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or anyone. What am I watching right now? Right now I'm just going back and forth between ES and NASDAQ. ES has this pull to 49.3222. NASDAQ is still pushing lower here on some large red engulfings. Playing puts on SPY when we could have been playing Tesla. Yep. 17,580. About 23-point bounce here. Apple's holding. So Apple just inverses the market now. There's been a lot of disconnect between Apple and the rest of the big guys the past couple of weeks. There's been a couple of days where Apple's been green while everything else is red, and the other way around. Hit my profit for today. Nice. When you look for market awareness, do you have all your tickers on your charts or just a watch list? Well, I've got my 6-pack up top. So up top, I'm watching this right here. So I'm seeing the financial markets, the tech markets, the volatility, and the bond markets all move in real time. So if I start to see the mega caps start to roll, I'll see where the pressure's building. And if it correlates to everything else, that allows me to gauge my awareness very quickly. And then I've got my watch list, but I can click through anything else that I'm not monitoring currently. And then I adjust that as needed. It's been about 6 months since I've really adjusted it, but I adjust it as needed to the market, what it needs to be looking at. And right now, I'm pretty dialed in with those 6. Well done, Passer. Go spread the good word, buddy. I had 15 symbols on charts, but it took too much memory. Yeah. Find what works. Find what works. So once again, the bulls cannot hold more than one green candle, and the sellers immediately hammer it. We still don't have an influx of volume on the buy side. It's all sell side liquidity here. It's all volume that's coming lower, lower, and lower. Declining SPY volume and SPY 15-minute for the last 3 candles indicating bullish recovery. Negative. Not yet, at least. Well, let me take a look. No, so right here we have red engulfing. We have a green candle that has little volume, bottom wick that immediately fails. So yes, this candle can still form bullish if it were to bottom wick and go back up to green. But the volume is still gone here, so we really still haven't hit recovery volume yet. It still looks like we don't have the bottoming volume. Yesterday, we talked about topping volume in the Zoom call. Well, now it's the opposite, bottoming volume. We don't have bottoming volume right now, which means we need a hammer candle with high buy volume with a follow-on candle that supports. Could we go up without that? Sure. But again, I'm trying to discuss high confidence setups, not necessarily what's going to happen. Right now, I don't have confidence we're in recovery mode yet. Let me buy a put real quick. It'll get to spy. Jeez Louise. To me, what I see in a video is just selling profit taking as well from last week. Let me take a look. Yeah, Nasdaq came or Nvidia came off. They're bouncing back up now though. So we have a little bit of basing across mega caps, except for Microsoft. They're getting smoked. No, you're good. You're good. Top of the hour is coming along. We don't really have any other data today that's worth mentioning. We have a couple of very small auctions later. We have FOMC Bostic speaking at 2 o'clock. But maybe this is the day they get everyone to buy calls and then dump it. Well, let's go take a look at the daily chart. The daily chart, we have a nice rejection on NASDAQ off of the prior pivot of 770. ES, we have another rejection off of just under 5,000. And the sellers are still in control of the candles. So we're right on top of the morning low right now. So this looks like we are going to go lower, because we are not being able to hold the morning low here or come off of it. We're glued to the morning low, which tells me all we're doing is absorbing. We're churning through all the demand here. Sellers are overcoming, and then we're going to come down. Yeah, consolidation. We're consolidating, which is absorption right at the morning low. TLT is still getting smoked into the 93s. VIX coming up 1443. Apple's starting to bounce here too. Currently flat on positions, but I want to take something here. I want to get something going. $490.81. There goes Apple up. Do you think 17,475 could be a good place to go long if we get down that low? I've marked it as demand as well. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm looking at between 480 and 490, so right in that area would be a great place. You're welcome. Good charting. I like it. NASDAQ's morning low is 600. So they're below the morning low. ES is at their morning low. So if NASDAQ were to climb, not only do they have the morning low at 600, but they also have the 8 EMA. And the market loves to reject the 8 EMA on trend down days, which currently we are in a trend down on NASDAQ. So let's see if we could top wick off 600 and start our trudge down to hit that 480, 490 on NASDAQ. We have very, very light liquidity across both books on ES and NASDAQ, although NASDAQ has a little bit more at 49.32. I'm cautious of 664, 672 gap down. Waiting to see how it does today. It always comes back to all-time highs, though. Tesla looks like it's going below 170. Do I think 165? Yep. They're down now 6.4%. After all the hype and work AWS is going around, Microsoft is in the same boat. Earnings will rocket. Can you imagine if Nvidia did what Meta did next week? What is it? Next week or week after? What are those weeks? I might have to put a lotto call on, which I know I shouldn't do because the second I do that, Nvidia will go bankrupt. I'll be the jabroni that kills Nvidia. I'm terrible at picking earnings plays. If you had to ask me which is today's Skynet, it's Nvidia. I believe it. Do you see how much Zuck added to his fortune? I didn't. I would assume it's pretty high, though. I got to believe he's probably nearing Elon at some point with that move. He's got to be. He's in his bunker. Plus 28 billion. You know why I couldn't be a CEO? Because if I made 28 billion like that, I would cash out and bounce. I would cash out. Once you make that much, you can't bounce. Yeah, pretty much. I was thinking the same thing. Then the stock price would crash because I would sell all $35 billion of my stock. Yeah, $700 million a year from dividends. See, there you go. All right, here rejecting the morning low right here. And if this candle can hold and the sellers can do their job, their jobs, XLF is dumping back over. Financials coming back off here. We can try to get a retest of 640. Still nothing though. Very slow action. Jeff Bezos said by the end of the year he'll be selling $8 billion worth of. I saw that. Yeah, billions of dollars worth of Amazon stock price. Hobson Billy to vacation. Yeah. All right. So there is a little ascending wedge on NASDAQ. You'll see that? And they're rejecting the morning low right now, perfectly. Right now. 49.43. Top wick galore. And they've got right off the 8 end morning range. But what can they do? Head in the gym, maybe be back around 2 p.m. Eastern. Nice, Paul. Well done, buddy. Go kill it. What are you hitting today? What body part? Gotta get the pump. Get out of here. Go to the gym. Oh, man. I gotta do that myself. $5.92. Upper body today? Nice. Do a 5-day split. 3 upper bod, 3 lower bod. Weekends off. I like it. Kind of messed up how these buybacks to cash themselves out. Yep. Am I going to short squeeze NASDAQ here? I don't know. Right now, it's still top wicking the morning low, the morning high, yeah, morning low right here. Squat workouts every day. Yeah. Dylan. Yeah, Carl Weathers, man. I heard he passed. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. He was a big part of a lot of people's growing in masculinity with Rocky and Predator. And, of course, Happy Gilmore. Chubbs. Here comes the volatility off morning low. We going. Got my hand back. He did. It's only just begun. Beating myself up about not confirming those puts. Decided to hold off trading until I can remain level-headed enough to trade smart. What happened, Kennedy? Tell me. Talk to me, Goose. I'm easing the tension, baby. Yeah, never trade against the trend. I would agree with that. Yeah. The market is moving so weird this month. Yeah, so there's been a lot of... The reason why it's moving very weird is because it's blasting off nonstop with no pullbacks. And I had to identify that early because my job, if I'm going to run this community, is to cage the expectations. And when I do that, I have to fall back on VPA because sometimes I get myself in trouble. So even if we are starting to see some signs of bearishness, I am still bullish until proven otherwise. This week, I am far less bullish than I was last week, and I was a little bit less bullish than the week before that because of all of the exceptionally strong bottom wicks across the daily chart. Just like right now, I'm looking for this thing to continue down to 490, possibly 480, if we can get this morning low rejected. But if you're looking to go against the trend, absolutely. I would not be looking to reverse a trend. Now, there's a couple of time frames that help you do that. If we have a big dump or a big green rally in the first half hour, that's something you could potentially look to reverse. But you got to wait for the time frame to set. Because typically on trend up days, we have a big red sell-off to start the day off. And then we start to hammer and go higher. And that's where people get everyone short and they get smoked. So that is a time that you do want to look for a bounce and stuff like that. But on a day like today where we're just going down and down and down and down, don't look to buy it until we have the signs for it. I would rather be late into a V-recovery than early into a downtrend by trying to front run a call and get smoked. So wait until the 15-minute confirms us a strong bottom wick with recovery volume, and then you put on a call. Because right now we have strong pull down to 48.80 on SPX with the GEX. We've got 480 on SPY. We've got NASDAQ coming on down to possibly 480 and 490. So I don't want to look at this thing to bounce until I see the signs of it going to bounce, which it could be now. But there's a whole bunch of sell pressure here and very weak buyers. My money's on TJ because he's always right. He never lies. I like it. I like it. Go. Nice little green here. SPY is putting on a green, climbing up. But I got up to about 613 so far. So nice little 60-point bounce. Got about 20 minutes here until UK closes. What are they doing this morning? Doing about the same thing we're doing. German markets are doing about the same thing. NKD, about the same thing. CL is 71.81 and still falling. Looking like they're going to go for 71.66 on CL. And then after that is 71.40. VIX is coming off 1425. Pretty slow movement here, though. Been a good morning. It's been a good morning. Well done, Trader J. Well done. 17613. I'm not really seeing the buying pressure come out of NASDAQ price action yet. Very light volume so far. We're just kind of trudging up here. I'm not going to go chasing it just yet. I'm not seeing the good setup I need for a V recovery. Volume is completely down. I've been really leaning on the 30 and 15-minute chart lately. I'm loving the lack of noise. I love it. Yeah, beautiful. Amazing. Apple's still up. Apple's holding everybody up here. Just taking things pretty slow right now. On times with low volume, do typically just watch. A little too risky to get no trade. If I don't see something I don't like, if I don't see something that's a textbook VPA setup, then it's lower confidence to me, which is fine. It's fine to take a lower confidence trade, just pull out position sizing. But with a couple of trades I've already taken on the way down, right now I don't really see the signs of a V recovery. It could happen very quickly, but we're just having a little bit of pullback here. And I'm going to kind of play towards that until I see it break down. But with little volume, I just, take my hands off a little bit. Wait until I see an influx of volume or something that's pretty obvious. Remember, we're not trying to take 50 trades here. We're trying to take a couple of good trades. And if it's not high confidence, then I don't want to play it. Just short of the pullback. I will announce when I short. That's your cue to go long. I don't think like that. Did you get the Vision Pro? I did not. I ain't spending $3,500 on a pair of glasses. Especially when I can get the Quest for $600. How much of trading do you think is just learning not to trade? I think it's more than that. JJ. In my opinion, the vast majority of you should be focusing on trade management, not a system. Figuring out how to trade system-wise is incredibly easy in terms of what you actually need to learn. You don't need to read 15 books. You don't need to read a bunch of crap. You don't need to spend thousands of hours watching some jabroni do AEMA crossovers. You need to learn how to control you in risk management. Small position sizing. Understanding that there's a reason why 99% of people fail at day trading, because it's incredibly, incredibly difficult, if not impossible. So learn to pull things back very slowly and buy yourself time. Now, what I mean by scalping, if you can trade a very small position size and hold it for the entire day, you might be okay. Swing trading is a lot easier. But learning not to trade is very much. We're not trying to catch 100 trades here. We're trying to catch a couple of good high confidence setups, make your money, and go enjoy the rest of your day. If you're sitting here at the computer all day, I guarantee, well, I'm not going to say guarantee, most likely you are not profitable if you're sitting here at the computer all day long. Not to mention, trust me, that's not the life you want to live. I did that 2018 and 2019. It was terrible, which is why I was ready to get out. One sec. I got to mute real quick. Sorry about that. I'm back. Had a guy walking around my house, showed up on my cameras. Weird. All right, so a little green here. Recovering some of this. Apple's going nuts. Flying. Did you have to shoot him? No. I did go out there, though. Oddly enough, I can't see him because he showed up on my cameras, but I didn't find him. So I am unlocked to load up my desk here. Let off around. Yeah. When I'm right, I'm wrong, and when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Desk pop. You got to do a desk pop, yeah. So. Mondays are hard to trade. Yeah, a lot of people don't trade Mondays or Fridays. To begin and end the week are usually some pretty tougher sessions. It's the ATF. Film it. Oh yeah. All right, anyway, we've got about 9 minutes till UK closes here. We're right back up against the 8 EMA on NASDAQ on the 15-minute. And we are starting a top wick here. I just entered a short position to speculate on after rejecting the prior liquidity on down. Right there on the 8 EMA 15-minute and coming off. It's the ATF, probably. Jabronis. Jabronis. We already rejected here once about an hour ago, give or take. Coming off. Desk pop, I love it. If they could flip this green candle red on the 15-minute, the Alaskan Task Force. All right, so see how far the short can go. NASDAQ has got down to 16,700. Here's a little bit more red right there. Sweet. All right, we're getting a little pull away here. I just need to capture under 600 again, and that'll be good to go. I'll be good to go. $618. Good day so far? Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. $617. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I forget this microphone picks up everything. What made you take a short right now? I'm hanging out on the 15-minute chart. If you look, we've had a drop in volume on the 15-minute chart here. So the buyers have never really stepped in. We just take a little profit taking short covering. We came up and we just top wicked off the 8 EMA on the 15-minute. But more importantly is the VPA is the fact that the buyers never really stepped in. We had a couple of top wicks. If you look back, we've already rejected on the 5-minute candle 1020 at 1025. We've already rejected this level once. So I was playing a little bit of rejection off of it. I don't know how far we'll go, if at all, but I just wanted to speculate short on it. This is a CZ SP01. CZ75 SP01. 9 mil. I love this gun. One of the more fun and comfortable guns I've ever shot. Although I don't care for the trigger. So 16,619 here. If we can fill down and grab 600, Microsoft is rolling back over deep. Amazon's coming back off a touch, and overall, we haven't really come too far off 600. So I'd love to grab 600, and then from there, we'll see. Still going. Nice. How many guns do I have? Nice try, ATF. Nice try. I have a lot. I have a lot. That's one of my passions, so I have a lot. I bought my first gun when I was 9 with my birthday money. It was a Marlin bolt action 22. Well, can you use them as a tax write-off? No, unfortunately, unless they were business related, which they're not. CZ USA commandeered us for our warehouse. Oof. Still holding short here, rolling back over. See how far we can go. First was an SKS. I thought you said skis. Yeah. We could add a gun review channel. I'd love it. 100%. In fact, I'll do it right now. I'll put it in the miscellaneous channel. There you go. Done. I work fast. I should be in politics. 615. What if you shoot your screen when the trade goes wrong? Yeah. Surely Nvidia's going to dump hard. Yeah. People have been saying that for a while, man. That's not one that I would want to catch short. Because when you're wrong in a big way. Hmm. 17,600. Very slow action. 3 minutes till UK close, and then after that we'll wrap up the morning, call it a day, and head off and into greener pastures. So, is Tesla a buying opportunity? At some point, they'll hit value. At some point, I don't think they're there yet. I think they're, Tesla was a mania stock. It was one that went insane based on participation, not because of value. And I think when Kathy put on that 3,000 price target, it went apey. It went nuts. So I think they'll get a little more pressure left in the tank here, and eventually it'll be a buying opportunity, but not yet, in my opinion. Do you have any utility meters or devices on your property? When I worked at homeowners pool and point got them yet many times. I do. We've got water hookup, and I've got Starlink, Elon Starlink on the property. But that's it. I would never pull a gun on anyone though, unless I was absolutely sure that they were there for malice intent. I'm not skittish. Like I don't scare easy. So if you pull up, I'm not gonna be like, hey dude, I'm gonna shoot you, unless you look the part and you act the part. How is Starlink? I love it, dude. It's incredible. 180 megabytes. It's amazing. Highly recommend Starlink. Assuming you get the same service. Since it's slow, Taylor Swift and Kelsey, psyop or love story. I think that's I don't know. I don't know. This is my fourth trade of the day, Hakan. Um, I don't know, man. I don't pay attention to that crap. I don't get wrapped up in football and celebrities. It's pointless to me. I don't know. Whatever. People love to be entertained. How much is Starlink? I think it was $649 for the initial equipment, and then after that, it's like $110 a month. Yeah, I started us off in the new channel, Firearm Review. $110 a month is great. Yeah, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. Because now I could put security cameras on the property now because they have internet. Other than trail cams, work great, but they're cell and they're not live. I could be out there and if I need to do trading, of course, if I'm out there, I could do that, which is a degenerate move, but I would do it because that's me. What do I think about ARK? I love the fact that she takes risks. So I have to commend her for that. That she takes risks on value stocks. It's definitely a volatile one, with her additions and her investments. But yeah, I don't pay too close attention to it. I'm more about blue chips. I'm more about the high value bedrock stuff and the economy. Every now and then I'll speculate into some shorter term stuff, but I like the blue chip stuff. And of course, you need to review a new firearm or two a month. I could do that. Yeah. All right, so we are through the morning Euro close here, and then we're going to start wrapping up the process here. So if you have any questions, let me know. And comments, concerns, how we came up with our downside positioning this morning and going into the end of the week. What do we have tomorrow for liquidity or for catalysts? We have FOMC Mester tomorrow. We have a 3-year note tomorrow. And there's some crude stuff after the market closes. Coming back up. So the 20-point bounce or so. A lot of trades need to be bought this year. Yep. All right, green back up here. And took out the 8, took out the prior pivot. Just got me out of my trade. And going. So it looks like we might start to attacking VWAP. Still going 642. 2 bond auctions this week may be of impact. Yeah, I saw we did have some pretty nice bond auctions. I think at the 10 and the 30 year. Is it still going to be bearish, or have we run out of steam and reversed? Well, we have a nice little V recovery coming along here. No real high volume spikes to speak of. We're just kind of trudging along upwards. We'll look for VWAP. I'm not playing it right now, currently to the upside. I've already made my daily stuff here, so I'm just watching. I don't know. I mean, Apple's very strong currently. But VWAP on NASDAQ is 667, so it's another 30 points higher. And ES is coming back up as well. A VWAP for them is 60, which is 7 points. All right, bottom look on the 50 simple moving average 4-hour chart. There you go. Why rates are going back to zero quicker than people think. And we'll see. I mean, J Powell admitted they were wrong once with the bank failure last year. So we'll see. Right now he's saying rate cuts mid to late 24. Obviously a lot of lower banks. He did say a lot of lower banks could fail and probably would fail. But he's aware of them. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, parting shots, favorite weapons. Oh, thanks, Vampire. Appreciate it. Yeah, it was a good day. Had fun today. It's good stuff. Not a crazy big day, and we had a decent amount of sell there. Nothing crazy, but we had fun. And yeah, great for a Monday. Am I looking for a continuation of failure here? Honestly, I'm going to try to keep the slate clean today, yo. I'm going to try to just see what the market does here. I'll look for VWAP as another opportunity. I'm going to eat a little lunch here. I guess munch on some lunch, munch a bunch of crunch and munch. And then see if we could reject VWAP. If not, if we come back up, well, whatever. I probably won't take another trade. So we'll take a look. Not to mention, it's another beautiful 68-degree clear sky day. So I'm going to spend a little time outside, get some sun, do a little fitness, and yeah, come back this afternoon. So I'll pay attention about 2 p.m. Eastern time is when I'll try to come back online here and see if we get a little movement into the bell. We do have a couple of larger bond auctions this week. Somebody just mentioned that. I'm glad. We have a 3-year note tomorrow. We have a 10-year note on Wednesday, which probably will be volatile, especially if they go no bid. And then Thursday is 1 p.m. for the 30-year auction. So we have the 10 and 30, the two big dogs on Wednesday and Thursday. Friday is nothing. Not a single piece of catalyst on Friday. 1301 Beretta 12 gauge. I like it. My COVID staycation is over. Time to go back to work. Nice X-rays. You're talking about like since you got COVID, or since COVID you've been working from home and now they're making you go back to the office? That's happened to my neighbor. My neighbor's been working from home since COVID, and they're finally making him go back. I've been home all week. Oh, nice. Time to go back to the hospital. Ah, I see. Well, keep safe. Kick some butt. Good stuff. Yeah, definitely. I got a soft spot for health workers, man. Obviously, Mrs. Owem's a health worker, so I know how hard they work. It's a hard career field to be in, man, especially this day and age. My company's just let me work from home indefinitely. Nice. Good stuff. I've been working from home since '06. Man, that's awesome. Very cool buy wall. What a day and age we live in, man. We can make a living working from home. It's beautiful. Love it. It's a great time to be alive, man. Wish I could shoot X-rays from home. Only downside of work from home is you're always tempted to trade. Yep, I feel you. That's why when I'm done trading, I have to close down my brokerage. Otherwise, I'll literally go back and forth from the kitchen to this office 20 times looking for opportunity. So I got to close down my brokerage and be like, all right, I'm going outside, or I'm going to go work out or go do something. Especially since running this community. What's my expectation for the next 2 weeks? Why is this not working? Check, check, check. Can y'all hear me good? Sounds like my microphone is not picking up all the way. My expectation for the next 2 weeks is eventually to start entering into distribution process. It doesn't necessarily mean down. It just means the sellers are going to start having a bigger part in the price action. It could mean down, but I'm just saying, I'm not sitting there telling you to start going short. I'm just saying February is traditionally a bearish month. I would like to see, they're probably going to start to see the sellers start becoming a bigger part of the picture here into the price action this week. A little bit of red here. So just in time for me to get off. Russell's down 1.8, recovering some of that. So I would anticipate sometime in the next couple of sessions for me to start looking and entering a 4 to 5 week, 3 week, somewhere in there dated put, depending on price action and open interest. So I'll be looking to play that. We've already tapped 5,000 on ES. We rejected it. So we'll see. We're going for a ride? Maybe. I love going for rides. Jeez Louise. My problem is I've had periodic success, so it's hard for me to downsize. Not saying that's the wrong answer, just hands up. There you go. Rising wedge on SPY here? Yeah, I'd say that on the shorter time frame. So y'all be good. Be safe. I'll be back on this afternoon in the server, not necessarily to stream, but I'll be active in the server. So we'll come back on. Let me know if you have any questions. Hit me up, and I'll try to answer those questions. Until then, I'm out. See you.